Hello, welcome back to Ever17, the Out of Infinity. We have to get out of here now. This is not going to be very easy. She had an unassailably earnest expression. She stared directly into my eyes. Duty. I tried repeating it in my own mouth. Hey, is that really your only reason? She nodded calmly. She threw up all emotion as she said it. She's just fulfilling her duty. This was Sora's proposed escape plan. What are you talking about? Didn't the central elevator get sunk in the first flood? Really? Still, even so, that tube is 103 feet high. That huge pipe is completely full of pressurized seawater. You're not telling me to swim through that. Drain it? How? Okay. Seems easy enough. Okay, let's say something like that were possible. How could I climb up that ridiculously high tube? There's no ladders or anything in that tube, is there? Okay, we can float up. Yeah. Okay, good. Hey, Sora, can we go back to our first conversation? You said before that we would move the water to Dritstock. So you mean, in other words, that we would entirely flood Dritstock? What do you mean, yes? If we flood Dritstock, the Himmel computer room will be flooded too. Great. Yes, she will be fine. Oh, I see. No, I've got it. It's okay. The water rises up the elevator tube. I just zoom up and out with it and escape. Is that right? I understood the proposal. I understood it, but... No! If Himmel floods, what happens to you? Your memory, your recollections, aren't they all here? They'll all be drowned. So she won't remember any of this, will she? I pointed at the computers lined up next to the console. Well then, she looked down and didn't answer. No. No way am I going to let you take this kind of suicidal act, Sora. Ow. Suddenly a searing, burning pain hit my eyes. I covered my eyes frantically. What in the heck was that? Fearfully, I pulled away my hands and opened my eyes. She said this without emotion. Furrowing her eyebrows, Sora glared at me.
それで倉成さんの目をあくっています。
Whoa, what?
本来ならばできないことですね。今の私はどうかしています。リミッターが外れてしまったみたい。
She stared at me. It was a gaze that sent chills down my spine. Hey, come on now. Are you threatening me, Sora?
早く言う通りにしてください。倉成さん、私がちょっとレーザーの加減を間違えたら、次は本当に倉成さんの目を傷つけてしまうかもしれません。私が嘘をついてると思いますか？私は真剣です。
Ah, jeez. And thus Sora's plan became reality.
倉成さんはツバイトストックの書店
It's a little cold, so I have my heater on in my room.
チューブに入るタイミングも私が指示します。その時が来るま
My
で
room gets pretty cold easily.
私はこのヒーメルにとどまり、レミューの状態を監視します。排水ダクトをコントロールして崩落を食い止め、1分1秒でも長く全艦が維持できるように努めておきます。ですからお願いです、倉成さん。必ず生きて脱出すると約束してください。
I promise. I left Himmel and looked upstairs. I checked my PDA display. It showed a map of Limu in my escape route. Just a little bit ago, I had installed a data linking program from Himmel's console that linked my PDA to Limu Center. Sora had prepared it for me. At this point, I had to just do it. It was a gamble. I reached Whitestock's second floor. The hallway was flooded, just like the third floor. Sora, I've come to the second floor. What should I do?
了解です、倉成さん。現在地と方向を確認しました。
I couldn't see her, but I could hear her voice in my ear.
少しその場で待機しててください。今ハウプトブラッツに続く水密機を閉じ直します。
Okay. A hollow sound echoed through the building. Presumably, she had blocked off the flood hatches in the flooded
水
area.
密機閉鎖完了。ツバイトのエレベーターチューブが密閉されました。では、カルセル・デルフィーネの部屋に入って次の指示を待ってください。場所はわかりますか？
Yeah, I know the dolphin carousel really well. That's where you and I rode dolphins together. That's where you showed me the art of my other self.
急いでください、倉成さん。その通路をまっすぐ行って突き当たりを左です。わからなければ PDA のマップを確認してください。
No, I'll be alright. Defying Sora's directions, I turned left down a nearby corridor and headed toward a certain corridor.
何やってるんですか？そっちじゃありません。
Sorry, Sora, I remembered that I had forgotten something.
時間がないんです。指示通りにお願いします。
Sora's voice grew shrill. It will only take a minute, it won't make a difference.
ダメです。猶予はあと10分もないんです。
I can do this in 10 minutes. I slid into the security office. It hadn't flooded yet in there, and the machines were still going. I looked at the terminal monitor. The window that was open showed a message confirming the last entered password. I hit enter. Welcome, enter, let me log in. TY. The manager exclusive maintenance mode was in operation. In other words, we had cleared all of Lemmy's security. The terminal in the security office. I finally figured out the password. Yu's voice, which I had heard through my stupor, had been right. Yu had made it in the nick of time. Next time I see her, I'm buying her a fantastic dinner. Alone, I began quickly searching for a way to back up the data. I wondered what I should do. I opened a menu on the monitor. I didn't know how to work it. I would need a disk to copy the data. Whoa! All of a sudden, Sora's voice thundered right in my ear. I know! It was no good. I couldn't figure it out. Giving up, I left the room. The corridor outside the room had been drained and the flood hatches had been closed again.
寄り道しないでください。
She spoke in a troubled, exhausted voice. Alright. I turned around to see that the corridor on the other side was open. This way?
ええ、あと6分です。通路に沿って移動して待機位置についてください。
All the side routes were closed off. I'd have to head toward the dolphin carousel. Look, Sora, I'm here. I spoke with bitterness in my voice.
了解。確認しました。それではこれからハープトプラッツに溜まった水をドリッドへと流入させます。
No. I didn't make it in time.
チューブ作動まであと5分です。いつでも移動できるようにしておいてください。
Sora spoke coldly, still invisible. I was in front of the dolphins. The dolphins had been so pleasant and smiling before. Now they were harmful. Sora, won't you come over here? You like dolphins, right?
ダメです。私集中してないと失敗してしまうかもしれません。
Don't say that. Come on. Don't you want to ride the dolphins again together one last time?
話しかけないでください。気が散りますから。 ドリッドシュトック浸水後もキンメルはしばらく耐えられるはずです。クラナリさんが地上に脱出するまでは確実に、いえ、絶対に耐えてみせます。 そろそろお別れですね。
So this was it. Was there no way I could save Sora? The 5 minutes passed quickly, mercilessly. I closed my eyes, plugged my ears. I didn't want to see anything else. I didn't want to hear anything else. If I couldn't save her, it would have been better for us to throw our bodies from a cliff.
クラナリさん、申し訳ありません。クラナリさん。
What? Even with my eyes closed, she was definitely there. I was hearing her voice from inside my ears. What's the matter, Sora? The 5 minutes should be
そ
up.
れが、実は
Through the voice converter, I could hear Sora's troubled
ドア
voice.
が開きません。
What?
ハウプトの水密費が開放信号を受け付けないんです。断線です。
Disconnected?
ええ、ですが破損箇所は発見できています。大変恐れ入りますが、クラナリさん、断線箇所を修繕していただけませんか？
Of course, no problem. Heaven, fate, they were on my side. They had not abandoned me. I ran out of the room. Sora opened the doors, blocking my way. Where's the disconnection?
ドリッドシュトック制御室付近です。
Alright, I'll go right there. Down, down. Run, run, run. In reality, my body was probably racked with decompression sickness and riddled with TB, but it wasn't something I was aware of. More importantly, I had to move faster, faster. Hurry there! Falling again and again, covered in bruises, covered in bruises, slipping down the stairs, I headed for the 3rd floor. I'm here, Sora.
お疲れ様です。
Coward. Her voice resonated gently in my ear. Now then, where's the place? Hey, wait, what about tools? Can I fix it with just my hands?
簡単な修理器具が制御室の中にあります。要修理箇所はクラナリさんのいる通路の床下です。
Under the floor?
ともかく急ぎましょう。これから私が該当箇所に高電圧をかけて床パネルを爆砕します。クラナリさんは一時制御室の中に退避してください。
What?
5、4、3、
Hey, wait.
2、1
I rushed open the control room door and sprang inside in the nick of time. As I flew through the air, a blue-white light beamed through the entire corridor behind me. 1 second later, and I would have been fried. Sora! What the heck? You trying to kill me? From the sound of her voice, I could picture just how flustered she was. Her voice gradually grew smaller. Okay, you don't have to feel so bad. I'm fine. You just scared the crap out of me, that's all. I'm alright. I'm fine. Look, see, I'm alive and everything. You can't kill me off that easy. I've still got things to do. So you calm down, okay, Sora? I had to hurry, that much was clear. But calmly, rationally, carefully, I looked slowly around the room. Next to the console, there was a small toolbox. It held radio pincers, nippers, and a screwdriver. I wondered if it would be enough. I looked around a little more. I got sight of a polycarbonate disc in a square case. I put it in my empty pocket. Clutching the toolbox, I left the room. Sora, there's something wrong with the lights. It seems... Oh, what are you? Hey, Tarna, I'm back in the hall, but you aren't going to blast me again, are you? Suddenly remembering, I hopped around the corridor. Got it. I was relieved to hear that. So, where do I need to fix? Which way? Which way from my perspective? Sora, what's wrong? Because you do crazy stuff like short out high voltage. I heard her sigh. I sighed along with her. Alright, I'll find it myself, don't worry. I had room for one more sigh. Surely I could find one stupid, lousy floorboard. I took the toolbox to the hole in the floor and crouched down. Pushing aside the nearby water, I searched with my hand under the floor for wiring. A cable about the size of a water pipe hose was attached to the connector. The cable was twisted in places, and I could tell the connector was bent. I cut it with my nippers, took out the copper wire with my pliers, replaced the connector, and reattached the cable. I think I fixed it. What do you think, Sora? We'll go through. That's good. Okay, right away. I'm right here, Sora. She looked thunderstruck. Sora, you really need to learn more about hide and seek. I tried to say it lightly. When we played Kick the Can, you hid in a place where you'd get found right away. Even if you can't monitor me with the bioscan, you could just listen to the sounds. That is, if you wanted to find out where I was, right? Well, you made it easy for me to come back here without being discovered. I didn't know what I'd do if you wouldn't let me in the room. She yelled. We're way past its limits. Do you really think I could leave you here? Do you know why I came back here from IBF? Hesitating, she turned her gaze away from me. No. Open all the floodgates and endurance docks passageways.
できません。早くツバイトに戻ってください、クラナリさん。
Just hurry up and open them.
できません。水密碑を開けたらドリットシュトックは完全浸水します。ヒンメルの外は全て海水に満たされるんです。そうしたらクラナリさんはもう二度と。
If you won't open them, I'll open them by hand. I grabbed Himmel's console.
無駄です。そこからのコントロールはできません。
That's a lie. You're lying. Right now, Lemmy is in system administrator only maintenance mode. From the big terminal, you can control all of Lima. Sora Kanagasaki can't override the sysadmin's authority. I wasn't sure, but I said it anyway. This was a huge risk. I touched the panel and hit the keys. I didn't know how to operate it, but something came up that looked about right. She glared at me. I selected the command to open all the flood hatches in the corridors and hit enter. I covered both my eyes with the palm of one hand. I couldn't see Sora. I immediately pressed the key with my other hand. Ow! Ouch! That's hot! The smell of burnt hair from the hand I had used to shield my eye filled the air. I blew in my hand, trying futilely to cool it down. You scared the heck out of me. Don't do this, Sora. The floor started shaking. I couldn't stay on my feet with the violent shaking. I wobbled as I moved, but ran swiftly to the entrance of Himmel. I tried to close the heavy door with the full force of my weight. Darn. But my hands wouldn't move like I wanted. I suddenly felt terribly dizzy, a burning sensation in my chest, and collapsed to the floor. My hands slipped. I couldn't stand up. In this crucial moment, my condition couldn't have been worse. I'm okay. But I wasn't. A terrible fatigue and sluggishness struck me. A flow of dirty water had swallowed the path to Himmel and was on the verge of reaching the ceiling. No, I've got to get the door closed. But my hand couldn't reach the lever. My sight was fading and body was shaking. We won't. The stream of water had become a giant snake raging as it approached. Come on, you jerk water, bring it! I screamed back over my shoulder. Trying to cover Sora, I put my back against the open door to Himmel. I was determined to block the entrance. I was going to fight it off. I wasn't going to run away. I would save her, no matter what. Just then, I heard a terrifying roar behind me. The watertight door had been sealed shut by compressed air from the water pressure. Seawater pounded against the door again and again, like a stampeding herd of wild animals, but the sound was coming from far away. Okay, I can hear you. I had a ringing in my ears. How long will it hold? Thanks.
ドリッドシュトック全域は完全に浸水、水没しました。
I see. Thanks. On the other side of the door was 6 atmospheres of pressure. The walls on all 4 sides of the room I was in had already surpassed their limits, but luckily there was still power somehow. Emergency power must have kicked in. The lights went slightly dim.
倉成さん、
Sora bit on her lip.
そんなお礼なんて言わないでください。私は
Something gleamed in the dark. Her silhouette. Sora was staring at me. Her tears fell quietly. They sparkled, then disappeared.
ねえ、私はどうすればいいの？教えてください。
I reached out to catch the tears. The grain of the light winked and disappeared in an instant. The light disappeared as it reached my hands. Don't worry. You are doing fine. Don't do anything, Sora. I wouldn't erase it. I couldn't afford to lose her. I opened my eyes as wide as I could and tried to bring her image into my mind. Listen, the main thing is that you are safe. My eyelids were becoming heavier. Before I could even ask her if she could forgive me, I collapsed, pitching forward onto the floor, and fell into a deep sleep. A soft warmness surrounded me. Light. I felt that I had overcome an immense distance. The end of darkness. A soft white light surrounded me. There was nothing else for me to look at. There was nothing below me. Nothing there to support me. But for some reason I was at peace. I was floating. Floating steadfast. I was swaying freely in the center. In the center of gently drifting water, I could hear something faintly. The first sound I had heard in my life. Yes, it was the sound of a heart beating. I remembered. I was surrounded by the gentle sound of a beating heart. There was no greater feeling of peace than what I felt then. How long would I be able to stay there? I didn't know. I knew that I would have to leave the place at some point. I would have to let go of that fragile bond soon. But I wasn't sad. If that time must come. Darkness cleared again, and out of it would come a new world where I would resolve to be reborn. I woke with the warmth of the light. I was sleeping on a cold floor. Sora was floating right in front of me. It was like a dream, yet it was not a dream. It felt strange. What now? Morning. Good morning is such a fantastic word, isn't it? It makes me feel like I need to get up and get to work. Sora smiled softly. What time is it? Oh. I took my PDA from my pocket and pressed the button to turn it on. The battery was dead. Nothing showed on the screen. Yeah.
私とレミ各端末とのリンクもつい先ほど遮断されてしまいました。レミュー本体の各種センサーも使用不能。しかし事前の計算によると予想される外角の耐久時間は
Stop! I put my hand in front of Sora's mouth, and then slowly let my hand fall. Time doesn't matter anymore. I don't need to know. There's no need to worry about it anymore. そうですよね。 It may have been difficult for someone as conscientious as Sora to just stop thinking. Still, Sora smiled for me. She looked around and then spoke as if she had just remembered something.
そうだ。倉成さんが眠っている間にいい知らせが届きました。
Good news?
EBF で通信が行われているのが分かったので、レミューの外壁を伝う微弱な電波から内容を解析してみたのですが、それによると EBF にいた皆さんは救助を受け、潜水艇に乗り、無事にインゼルヌルへと脱出できたようです。
Wow, that's great news. I realized just how much I was worried about them. I looked up at the ceiling. They were all there. You, Tsugumi, Coco, the kid. I couldn't see them, of course, but I knew somehow. As if she understood what I was thinking, Sora looked up at the ceiling, her face smiling compassionately. I looked back. She looked at me. Straight into my eyes. Deep within her pupils was a faint light shining.
倉成さん、どうしてここに戻ってきたんですか?
Sora murmured quietly in the darkness. The only light to illuminate us was coming from the emergency lights. Her tone was peaceful.
本当の理由を今一度聞かせてください。
A calm smile spread on her lips. Sora was holding back tears that threatened to burst forth at any moment. Right, I'll tell you. I have someone that I want to protect, even if it costs me my life. She isn't something tangible. Other people may think I'm stupid, but to me, she was the most valuable thing in the world. I may not be able to see her with my eyes closed. I may not be able to hear her if I plug my ears, but that doesn't mean she will disappear. I know that she still exists, and I realize just how important she is to me.
Hi.
Aw, she nodded quietly. Well, now, using my hands to support me, I got up. I forgot, I had some unfinished business. I went over to the Himmel console.
用事? 何ですか?
She smiled softly and said, Is Lemmy still in maintenance mode?
はい。ですけど、レミューに関する機能はもう何も使えなくなってしまいました。
Well, it doesn't matter. Which pocket was it? I finally found what I was looking for and dug it out of my pocket. It was the case holding the polycarbonate disc that I had taken from the control room earlier.
テラバイトディスク?
That's right. I nodded and inserted the terabyte disc into the console disk drive. I hit the necessary keys. With the little knowledge I had, I needed to find the file. LMRSDS4913A, Sora Kanagasaki. I chose copy to disk from the menu. There was no guarantee that this would be successful, but I was going to try. I felt I had probably exhausted my allotment of luck in life, but it was worth a shot. If something malfunctioned, or there wasn't enough space on the disk, we were finished. I thought it was probably the last gamble in my lifetime. Keep it simple. I hit the enter key and the data began copying. Sora, remember to shout, keep it simple, when you hit a button.
Hi, 先生.
Sora smiled shyly. We stared at the console monitor. The copy slowly progressed. All of her memories were being burned onto the disk.
倉成先生、宿題のことなんですけど。
Sora murmured as she looked at the monitor. Homework? Did I give you homework?
いえ、生徒が自主的にやってみたんです。聞いてくれますか?
Yes, of course. Fire away.
私気づいたんです。私が何のために生まれてきたのか。私はきっと人間と同じように恋をするために生まれてきたんだと思います。だから私は幸せなんです。恋という感情に気づくことができたから。そして恋は方法や手段なんて稚拙でいい。意味や目的なんて求めなくていい。恋をするにはただまっすぐに恋すればいいんです。私はそう気づいたから。
Really? Sora brought her face close to mine, and she brought her lips near my cheek.
倉成さん、大好き。あなたを好きになれて本当によかった。
Yeah, I touched my cheek where she kissed. I felt a gentle warmth there. Was it the afterglow of her lips? Or was my cheek simply blushing?
あなたが憎いと思ったことも確かにあります。嫌だと思ったこともあります。でもそれも含めて全部好きなんです。どんな感情だろうとあなたのことを思って考えていれば、それだけで私はとても幸せなんです。
She was strong. Her mind and heart had grown so much stronger in the past few days, matched the maturity of her age, or more likely, transcending it. Sora. The disc continued to copy. Her memory being etched onto its surface. It was being etched into me, too. What do you want to do when you get out of here?
Eh?
It was an empty wish. We knew it was impossible. But it didn't feel strange to me to be talking about it with Sora. Sora, who really existed right in front of me.
私はここから脱出することができたら、そうですね。まずビートルに似たおばちゃんに会いに行こうと思います。
She winked and smiled.
そしてできれば倉成さんとお付き合いがしたいです。倉成さんと2、3年付き合って26、7で結婚するんです。それがコケットリーの白ガネーゼの鉄則ですから。ですよね。
Sora became a little blurry. Yeah, that's right. My eyes misted over. I was having difficulty seeing clearly. Was it an RST malfunction? Or perhaps I was short of oxygen? No, that wasn't it. No. Sora. Do you know the legend of Pygmalion? I was crying. The tears were falling down my face. Sora's figure wavered. He was the master sculptor in Greek myth. He's been called the King of Cyprus. One day he created a beautiful sculpture of the woman of his dreams, and because it was so beautiful, he fell in love with the statue. He kept on thinking to himself, if only it were a real woman. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, took pity on him and brought this sculpture to life. They married and even had children.
Hi.
I don't think I'll ever be the King of Cyprus, but I love you more than anyone. I reached out for her. I brought her face to mine and kissed her on the lips. I ran my fingers through her hair. Her hair fell through my fingers as if it were a string of silk. I could even sense a sweet smell. Even though I couldn't touch her, it was real. The console spit the terabyte disk out. Copy complete. There was no guarantee that the procedure had been a success. All of the data about Sora in front of me. All of the images Sora had seen, the sounds she had heard, things she had felt and thought. Every strand of her memory was written on that disk. Memory. What was memory? I wondered. What if I input the contents of this terabyte disk onto the Sora I didn't so know? Would that make her just like the Sora I knew? Hey, what can I do for you? Every time I played the fool, it never failed to make her laugh. We were holding back tears which threatened to spill down our faces.
コピーの間に倉成さんと話したことはどこにも記憶されませんね。それはちょっぴり残念です。
Nah, the memory's right here. I pointed to my head. I will remember. And the next time that we meet, I'll tell you about it.
そうですか?
Yeah.
では約束しましょう。
Alright, it's a promise. We crossed our hearts. Promise. When would that promise be fulfilled? I didn't know. But I didn't have to know. The mind is not as simple as black or white. Soon Himmel began to shake. Large cracks ran down the walls. Through the holes, a large amount of mist spurted into the room. Heaven had finally cracked open. The mist quickly became raging streams, and soon water was filling the room. I squeezed the terabyte disk into my pocket and stood in front of Sora. The water had gone higher than my ankles, past my knees, and it was almost reaching my waist. But for some reason, I didn't feel any fear. It's a promise. It's going to be okay, Sora. I won't die. It was just like the time we stood facing each other through the glass window. Sora and I put our hands together. If miracles truly do exist, then that was surely a miracle. I could sense everything about Sora. I couldn't help it and embraced Sora. The warmth of her hands, the softness of her skin, her smell, her breath, her heartbeat, her memory, her existence. I swore I wouldn't forget. I swore I would never, in all eternity, forget. All around us was a world of deep, deep blue. We embraced in the cold sea water and became one. My body began to float gently to the place where the heavens and the ocean fused into one. They were really cute together, actually. Yay! Okay. So there's Sora's route. She was great. That one was a lot of fun. I liked it. Done. Bye.